morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Eric Taylor. I have got the crazy honor of and privilege of being able to guest host today because, as you probably are well aware, Simply CyberCon is going on. Now, I've been asked to kind of speed around all this stuff. I'm going full ADHD mode. I'm going to be talking a little bit fast. So you may want to do, I'm not sure if YouTube or whatever does 0.5, but, we're going to definitely go through this thing because we have keynotes coming up, everything like that. We have a very, very tight schedule. So unfortunately, no job jacking or anything like that, just to be able to make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. And if you are unaware of the live virtualization, go to simplycybercon.com and be able to get registered for today's episodes that are going to be going on. Sorry, I've got one thing that I do need to shut down. Quit Teams. Okay. All right. So, things off the top. Remember, say, if you're first time here, put hashtag first timer. So that way we can all greet you. We open up the circle so that way you're more welcome into the group. If you are on Team Audio or Team Audio, we see you on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining. And if remember, put your capture. Sorry, like I told you, I'm full ADHD this morning. Definitely. Know that every episode is worth half a CPE. So take a screenshot of when you say hi and be able to count all those up, divide by 2, and that's what you do. For a lot of our stuff that I'm in with was GIAC, which is part of SANS. I just put it under community and I get awarded. It works for me. So depending on what your governing body and that they allow that type of thing. But yeah, every organization and governing body is definitely a little bit interesting. But we do have some dolphinist and we do have some stuff. Just case in point, CPE3, November 2025, exactly like Robert just did. So screenshot that and put that in there so that way you have forensic proof. Put them in a folder, be able to do that. Because we are going to speed run a lot of stuff, let's pay some bills, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get all the ads out in the beginning. Hopefully the audio is not jacked up, but when I'm hearing it, it's pretty jacked up a little bit. So let's get all the ad reads out of the way and kind of go from there.
Want to give some love to Fortify 365, the Microsoft 365 configuration solutions from Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber brings you all the knowledge in the incident response form, but they are also quite adept at helping you configure and set those protection controls for your M365 instance. Go to fortify365.com today to talk to Eric Taylor and the team over at Barricade Cyber and make sure that you are taking full advantage of all the configurable security controls that you have in your M365 instance. Fortify365.com today. Also want to give some love and some shouts to Anti-Siphon Training. Holla, holla, holla at Anti-Siphon Training, the group that is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education at a discounted rate for so many people out there. Their rates are insane. Some of their courses free or pay what you can. It's amazing. Go to antisyphontraining.com today. Check their upcoming live training, their on-demand training, government and military discounts. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I love it. Maybe not government and military discounts. I made a mistake. They've just aligned their training to the NIST NICE framework. Also pretty awesome. Thank you, antisyphontraining.com. And of course, as always, we've got ThreatLocker kicking it. We'll hear from them and then back to the news. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber.
All right, now that we've paid the bills, let's get started with the show, shall we, ladies and gentlemen?
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, November 3rd, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Australia warns of bad candy attacks exploiting Cisco IOS XE. The Australian Signals Directorate
Hold on. Did I mislabel? Hold on. Hold the presses, ladies and gentlemen. I might have... How did this happen? Bear with me a second. Let's do this. I may have put the parts wrong. My apologies. Okay.
He is warning of cyber attacks targeting unpatched Cisco IOS XE devices within Australia as a result of a previously undocumented implant called bad candy. These attacks exploit a CVE-numbered flaw with a CVSS score of 10, and which allows unauthenticated attackers to create an account with elevated privileges. Bad candy is described as, quote, a low-equity Lua-based web shell, end quote. It lacks a persistence mechanism, which means it cannot survive across system reboots. But if a device remains unpatched and exposed to the internet, quote, it's possible for the threat actor to reintroduce the malware and regain access to it, end quote. Chinese hackers exploit Cisco AS.
Stop it, CISO. All right, so, yeah, in today's world, are you leaving access to the management interface to the public internet? I mean, why? So definitely, if you don't know, go to Shodan and register for one of their free accounts. I think you get like five IPs or something of that nature. So put your stuff in there, see, and get alerted when you start seeing goofy stuff like this, and lock this thing down. Thankfully, it doesn't have persistence, which is good, but this is an RCE, remote code execution, or privilege escalation. So you're able to, gain access to Cisco. You know who has a lot of Cisco? The government and a lot of municipalities and things of that nature. They love some Cisco. So, if you're in that industry, go through it. And who in the is coming up with some of these names? Bad candy? Come on, get out of here. Anyway, we'll carry on.
Say firewalls used by governments worldwide. According to experts at Palo Alto Networks Unit 42,
is this going to be a firewall tanking show?
Hackers from China-based Storm 1849 are, quote, scanning for and exploiting a popular line of Cisco firewalls used by governments in the US, Europe, and Asia, end quote. The group is targeting...
Oh, what I just said. A lot of governments love Cisco.
Cisco Adaptive Security Appliances, ASA, which, in addition to acting as firewalls, also prevent some intrusions, handle spam, conduct antivirus checks, and more. The researchers observed several U.S. financial institutions, defense contractors, and military organizations attacked in this way throughout October. OpenAI's...
Slow your roll. All right. So, yeah, I mean, it literally goes back to this other one for the bad candy for the most part. The Chinese, go figure, are, scanning for Cisco. Right. So let's pull it big time. Let me go big. All right. So 9 times out of 10, the threat actor has no idea who they've compromised until they got inside of the environment. The best way I ever describe this thing is you're going down the interstate. Let's pick I-95 because I'm on the East Coast here. You're going down the interstate. Imagine you remove all the gas stations and restaurants and all those telling you what's available at that next exit. They see a port 80, 443, 22, whatever that port is open. They're going to take that off ramp and they're going to look around. What's out here? What's over here? What's over here? That's the way the threat actors work, ladies and gentlemen. They don't know who you are. So whether you're big, small, or indifferent, they don't know who you are until they get in there. So lock down your environment, ladies and gentlemen. Lock it down.
Aardvark GPT-5 agent finds and fixes code flaws automatically. This autonomous...
Somebody get defibrillator and make sure Jerry's all right. We got an infographic here.
Agent, currently available in private beta, works by, quote, embedding itself into the software development pipeline, monitoring commits and changes to code bases, detecting security issues and how they might be exploited, and proposing fixes to address them using LLM-based reasoning and tool use, end quote. In their announcement, OpenAI also added that Aardvark, quote, analyzes a project's codebase to produce a threat model that it thinks best represents its security objectives and design. With this contextual foundation, the agent then scans its history to identify existing issues, as well as detect new ones by scrutinizing incoming changes to the repository, end quote.
So, yeah, I mean, let's just be real. There are repos out there on GitHub right now that allow you to look at real time of GitHub pull and merge requests, so that way you can be able to look at this stuff. So, leveraging this inside of AI to do this. I mean, this is just the next evolution, ladies and gentlemen. That's all this is. In my humble opinion, but this is all, finds and fix code flaws automatically. This is pure vibe code, right? So we're vibing. So I don't. Let me know in chat if you've ever used AI to help you code. I've used it a little bit to try to help me do some stuff. And I tell you what, until I freaking start cursing at AI, Grok or Chat or whatever, they give me the crappiest code. No, what are you doing here? This is not even close to what I even asked for. This is not it, right? I'm not sure what crack you're smoking, but you're nowhere in the same ballpark of what I was asking you to do. So it's very, very, very disheartening. Anyway. Come on, play. Oh, are you going to mess up now? What? Why are you doing...
FCC plans vote to remove cyber regulations installed after theft of presidential information from telecoms. This past week, the Federal Communications Commission announced plans to remove some cybersecurity regulations that had been put in place after Chinese hackers breached at least 9 telecommunications giants to steal the correspondence of the president and vice president last year. Chairman Brendan Carr released a statement that said, quote, the agency would reverse a declaratory ruling published in January which would have mandated telecoms to better secure their networks and submit annual certifications attesting to the creation of a cybersecurity risk management plan, end quote. On Thursday, FCC Secretary Marlene Dortch added more context, saying, quote, telecoms have already taken voluntary steps to secure their networks and that the ruling was legally erroneous, end quote.
This goes back to, the infamous statement, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. You know what? I just want to go full torch on this thing. I am of the mindset that businesses are not going to change unless they are required to by some sort of regulation. But I got to tell you, man, meet me outside that nobody's going to do this crap, and they're just not going to do anything. So, or they're just going to self-assertion and say, oh yeah, we're doing this. Take the past 10 years of CMMC or the gov subcontractors saying the self-assertion. The own government can't even follow its own Biden executives that were from several years ago. I have it on good authority that many of them don't even have MFA still, even though it was a Biden executive order. So Like, I've made the statement many times. Let's figure out exactly how to make things effectively more secure instead of just throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what the freaking sticks. I mean, all right, let's hear CISO series ad.
Huge thanks to our
Ooh.
business stronger security and control. Don't just react to threats, stop them with ThreatLocker.
So if CISO Siri is watching that, I didn't minimize that I accidentally realized that after I disabled my screen, because I was trying to prevent y'all from seeing me open up a bunch of windows, I accidentally cut off the threat actor thing. So that was complete mistake. Like I'm trying to go and open up these windows. So I was trying to save y'all from that. All right. Sorry for anybody.
CISA and NSA share tips on securing Microsoft Exchange servers. More than a dozen.
So you notice this, right? Microsoft Exchange servers. For those who don't know, on-premise Exchange is going nowhere. It's going to still be developed. New editions are going to come out. The enterprise isn't going to get rid of it ever. Ever. Never gonna let you, never let you. No. Have that song stuck in your head all day. How about that?
Key security recommendations for network defenders were shared between the agencies and their partners. These included, quote, keeping servers up to date, migrating from unsupported Exchange versions, enabling emergency mitigation services, activating built-in anti-spam and anti-malware features, restricting administrative access to authorized workstations, and implementing security baselines for both Exchange Server and Windows systems. The agencies also made recommendations around strengthening authentication by enabling MFA, leveraging OAuth 2.0, and many other procedures. The agencies also advised network defenders to, quote, decommission end-of-life on-premises or hybrid Exchange servers after transitioning to Microsoft 365, end quote.
Again, I mean, the agencies also advised, end of life on-premise or hybrid. No, just get the new version. If you're going to be running hybrid Exchange servers, just pay to get the upgraded version of Exchange, right? What is the latest version of Exchange? Because they came out with the 2025 one, right? Exchange on-prem. Latest version. Oh, wait, what did I always like looking at what Google says in the AI because half the time it's wrong. Server subscription edition. Okay. Previous update and replacing a server 2019. That actually may be right. So yeah, release date October 14th, 2025. Oh, less than a month ago. I told you, Exchange ain't going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. So 2019 is just going to switch over to Server SE subscription edition, which, SaaS, hooray. So, like I told you, Exchange ain't going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be around for a long, long time. So, it's whatever. This thing should be like, yes, get rid of end of life on-premise on hybrid, and not every government agency is going to transition to Microsoft 365. They're just not. So, Anyway. Oop. Wrong button.
Ukrainian extradited to US over Conti ransomware. Oleksiy Litvinenko, 43, was extradited from Cork, Ireland, to face charges of deploying Conti ransomware that extorted over $500,000 from US victims between 2020 and June 2022. Court filings allege that Litvinenko managed stolen Conti victim data and ransom notes. Acting Assistant Attorney General Matthew R. Gagliotti of the Justice Department's Criminal Division said Litvinenko's activities, quote, defrauded victims in almost every U.S. state and from over 24 countries worldwide. He now faces up to 25 years in prison.
Hooray, 25 years. Whoop-dee. Do. Oh, yeah, granted, we're getting some justice from this. Like I told you, I'm going to be spicy. You know, if today was a drinking game of how many times you had to take a shot when you heard a dolphin, you'd be surprised and probably drunk right now. Again, go check out Dr. Gerald Auger. We've had a couple of infographics. We may need to shock them. But, you know, if you didn't have insurance to help cover the expenses of the Conti ransomware impacting your organization, there's still no closure. There's nothing to make you whole. You know, if you had to pay out of pocket for that decrypted tool or, breach notifications and all this other stuff, you're still out. Like, hooray, we caught one. We caught one person. It was a massive organization, and most of the people are just migrated over to other platforms. Lockbit, for instance. So, I'm just saying. I mean, great. Yeah, at least somebody's being held accountable and being brought to justice. But in the grand scheme of things, this does absolutely nothing. And I just realized when I went full screen and did the dolphin, you didn't hear the dolphin. One of these days, I got to work on my OBS setup. Anyway.
Another surge of NFC relay malware steals Europeans' credit cards. Related to a story we covered in June, mobile security firm Zimperium says near-field communication NFC relay malware has, quote, grown massively popular in Eastern Europe, with researchers discovering over 760 malicious Android apps using the technique to steal people's payment card information over the past few months, end quote. NFC malware takes advantage of Android's host card emulation, HCE, to emulate or steal contactless credit cards and payment data. The technique was first spotted in the wild in Poland in 2023, and this was followed by campaigns in the Czech Republic and later more massive attack waves in Russia. Bryce.
That is actually pretty interesting indeed. So if you're not picking up what the story is putting down, and again, Dr. Gerald Auger and myself don't really take the time to research these things, so you're getting literally the raw output as we're digesting the story. But NFC, near field communication, aka you're tapping things together, right? So like, I do not have my wallet, but essentially like that, I'm going to show iPhone, but like when you do Apple Pay, and that's all NFC that's up here. Like when I use my YubiKeys, they're NFC. So that way when I get close, it detects it, near field communication. So when things get close to each other, they try to communicate. That's the whole purpose of it. So this is around the Google Play, right? You store your wallets or your credit cards, debit cards, all that stuff in the Google Play or the Google Wallet store, or Google Wallet. I'm mixing terminology, sorry. And there's a vulnerability in it where you can take a scanner and put it up against it and be able to emulate a credit card processing. You know, you see the stories all the time where people walk up, you know, with devices up against the wallet and stuff like, yeah, that's not really a thing, right? That's been patched a long time ago. I keep telling you, ladies and gentlemen, things that are old resurface a lot of times. That's why, and Tyler will probably tell you this too the day he dies, that the retest old known vulnerabilities inside of a platform when you're doing pen testing, because a lot of times they'll pull from an old source code to make a new version or whatever, and they didn't patch the original stuff. That the bug was out, that was patched, but they didn't replicate it back to origin source code and kind of go like that. What does a physical card look? I'm not falling for that. Show us your card number. No. I got enough going on today. I don't need that calamity as well. Phil. No. I'm full ADHD. I'm not goofy.
App hones users with Microsoft Teams ads. According to Aaron Walton of Expel, the prolific ransomware gang is, quote, leveraging malicious advertisements to deliver Oyster Loader malware, also known as Broomstick and Cleanup Loader, and this campaign began in June and is continuing. It is being done by purchasing search engine ads, in this case in Bing, and driving people to spoofed, typo-squatted sites. To ensure a lower detection rate by antivirus engines when victims click on the links, Ricida employs a packing tool to hide the malware's capabilities.
All right, before I go on to this one, Phil, the reason I was looking for a wallet is because I've got a NFC business card. So I wasn't looking to show the credit card itself. I've got an NFC business card. So like when we're at conferences, I'm like, oh, here, boom. Now you can connect with us. All the team members have one. So there. Go put that in your pipe and smoke it, Mr. Phil. All right, back to the story. Ricida, which is another threat actor group, they've been around for a long, long time, just like Phobos and stuff like that. Kind of what we were talking about earlier. There was a story, or was I pulling the wrong one? I think I was pulling the wrong one. But this sounds. Give me a second. Because we are running ahead of schedule. Because Jerry's like, I need you to speed run this. I'm like, okay, I'll speed run this. And we're at 30 after. There was another story that I thought I saw the title. Come on, Cloudflare, let's go. Come on. Let's. I'm not sure where I got the original story. I thought I saw something else about this, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is another story old as time. Like, okay, if you go to Google and we'll just pick somebody here. Let's say computer repair, right? If I can spell today, computer repair. I'm sure this will show up a bunch of stuff, right? Not now. Go away. This one did not do it. Okay, let's try virus removal. This is not doing it either. All right, what the heck? When I want to show an ad, it's not letting me do it. All right, it's not showing it as an ad, but I know this one is. So they're just using this as, a Teams, mimicking Microsoft Teams updates, and they're putting it in Bing. So let's go to one of the most arguably worst. Let's try virus removal support. Copilot, get out of here. It's not doing it. It may be because where I got the VM at, but whatever. Okay. But yeah, people need to be aware. Definitely look at your IOCs. be able to look at, fake landing pages and stuff like that. So
Remember, if you're in the Big Apple, you can join us on November 5th.
no, I don't want to join you, but thank you though. Thanks for the offer, CISO series. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we did speed run this thing. I held up my commitment to Dr. Gerald Auger. Yay! Now we'll take a moment. There are 2 tracks, the Simply Cyber and the Simply Cyber Con, that are on YouTube. I believe they are pinned, but let me pull them up for you just in case, because I want to make sure everybody knows where to go. Simply, let's see. I'm doing this on another screen. I know, ladies and gentlemen. CyberCon. I was dealing with a personal issue. That's why I didn't have these things linked up already. All right. Let me pull this up on this other screen. Let me share this out. All right. So if we go live, if I know, yep. 6 a.m. Why does it show 6 a.m., Dr. Joe Dozier? Okay. Maybe there's something. Oh, it's because of on my workstations in UTC or my VMs in UTC. So that's why it's showing that. So disregard that. I forgot. So we do have, the virtual attendee track 1, and I believe it is Simply Cyber Cafe. And I know Jerry is probably screaming at me somewhere because he told me this.
Is cybersecurity?
Stop. Yep. So here's track 2. There we go. Oh yeah. So yeah, good call. My workstation, is it in Pacific or UTC? Yeah, it would be later. That's right. Good call out there. Thanks for that correction. So, yep, we have both of them here. So definitely make sure you are tuning in. I do know the keynote is starting soon. And I can't remember, is the keynote actually being done? On Simply Cyber? Let's see, live. All right, does not look like it. Okay, so perfect. Yeah, definitely go. Make sure you get in there. Go grab. We'll shut this thing down in a few moments. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry we're not doing jaw jacking today. There is kind of a very important conference going on, but I want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for letting me speed run through this one. Be a little salty, but it kind of compact just to make sure we get everything filled in. Run to the restroom, get yourself some coffee, do what you got to do, get back, get settled in, and pick up either track 1 or track 2 of your choice. And I believe track 1 is doing the keynote at the top of the hour. So definitely make sure you do that. With that, thank y'all so much. And I will see you tomorrow for jaw jacking. So, y'all take care of yourself. Get out there. Touch some grass while there still is some grass. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, jaw jacking. Take care, y'all.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.